Hi all, Rob here from the Way Out West Roots Music Club. It's been a while since I posted an interview. There are all sorts of reasons for being absent from YouTube, but no need to bore you with those details. Today I get to have a chat with Dave Philpotts, aka Doghouse Dave. Doghouse, of course, is the mighty fine bull fiddle player with the Dets, the Detonators. The Dets are a favourite WoW band, and we were happy to have them at the club this coming Sunday, June the 2nd, where we will be celebrating over 25 years of the band performing on stage all over the country. As well, they've been launching the commemorative book titled Fade Out Glory Boys, so you'll be able to grab a copy of that at the gig. You know it's going to be fun, guaranteed to be fun indeed, when Rock Bottom hits the stage. So please get there at 2 o'clock, settle in for a great afternoon. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. So rock on, my friends. Enjoy the chat, and we hope to see you Sunday. Over the years, I've interviewed quite a few artists for my podcast, and a lot of them have told me the same thing, that they were greatly influenced by their parents' records. Was that similar for your upbringing into music?
Um, to a certain extent, Rob, but not a full influence. I remember distinctly hearing heaps of Credence on the radio, and Mum and Dad had some Bill Haley records. We used to play them heaps, just me, my brothers, and my sister. So yeah, I suppose, yeah, all right, yeah, I'll go with that. Yep, yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
So when did you first start playing an instrument? I'm sort of guessing that it wouldn't have been the big bull fiddle that was the first instrument you played.
No, of course, like most kids, I get forced to play the recorder at school, which I hated. And then somehow I moved on to the tenor horn,
Right?
which is like a little version of a tuba, but maybe sort of, you know, yay big sort of thing. So I started playing that, and I used to practice at home, and my dad used to go off his trolley because the noise it made. And yeah, that's probably what I moved on to. And then I learned how to like memorize songs. So we'd be playing along in the classroom, and I'd work out how the song goes. So I'll be looking at the other kids while I was puffing into the mouthpiece and looking around, and they'd be reading the music, but I'd memorize it. The teacher used to get right into me for doing that. You got to read it. You got to read it. You know, but I said, I don't need to read it. I already know how it goes. You know. So yeah, it was the only thing I got an A for was
Oh
music.
wow, well,
Yeah,
fantastic!
yeah.
And so when did you officially become a detonator? How long ago was that?
That was on in August. I know it's probably we did our first gig in August '97. I'd say probably June of that year. We started doing some rehearsals. So yeah,
W-
probably
w-
June, I reckon.
were you in some bands before that?
Oh yeah, I've been in heaps of bands. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've been
roll
in
a
some.
few off.
Uh, well, previous to the Detonators, I was in a band called the Bone Shakers, which is like a three-piece blues band. Previous to that, I lived in New Guinea for 4.5 years. Worked up there. Before I went to New Guinea, I was in a band called the Flying Tigers. Well, we were like a 50s rockabilly band or rock and roll band, four-piece. We used to get quite a bit of work, and did a bit of original stuff as well, which was good. We actually won New Faces.
Oh,
So if you get on YouTube and YouTube Flying Tigers on New Faces, there's two videos there of me when I was a young fella talking to Bert Newton, and
that's
we
incredible.
yeah. So we won 3 grand back in those days. It was quite a bit of money too. So
Mm,
didn't get any gigs out of it. Not one gig, nothing, zero. So
okay.
yeah,
I'll find that and I'll put a link to it when I edit
yeah,
this.
yeah. Put a link to it. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested. You said you worked in New Guinea. What were you doing in New Guinea?
Well, I was a I work for Yamaha, not the instrument side, the motorcycle side here. And I saw an ad for the Honda dealer up there, or the Honda distributor, looking for someone to do motorcycles and power equipment. I applied for it and got it. So I lived in Port Moresby, travelled around a fair bit up there. And when I came home, I'd actually seen more of New Guinea than I had of Australia. Until I joined the Detonators, we hit the road. Now I've seen more of Australia than anything else, you know. So, but we've been every corner,
Did you have
except
to
that
live in
top
a
corner.
Did you have to live in a compound in New Guinea?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You had razor wire around the compound
yeah.
stuff.
Now it's
Yeah, pretty
interesting.
hairy.
I've got a set of questions, but you're jogging my memory now. With regards to motorbikes, you race as well, don't you?
Yeah, I raced last weekend actually.
Yeah. And what do you ride?
I've got a 1941 Harley, which is in a class, and it's Harley versus Indian, and all the bikes are pre Second World War.
Wow.
So nothing later than 1941 or 42.
Yeah.
And we've got to have the shifter on the tank and a foot clutch.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of the biggest classes. A great bunch of blokes.
Yeah.
And I was also racing my Triumph. I got a 500 Triumph,
Wow.
1946, and I won my class in that on the weekend up at Winton. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow, man.
yeah.
Congratulations.
I've been racing motorbikes since I was like 17 or 18 or something.
Yeah.
So
Multi-
I've raced quite a bit. I've raced in Grand Prix,
yeah.
2 at Bathurst, one up at Winton,
Oh, wow. Well,
Australian titles.
when we see you Sunday, remember Terry Smith, Slugger,
Yeah,
he's my
yeah,
vice president. His
yeah.
nephew's racing in Europe at the moment. I think he's in not the main one, but the third one down. He's only 18, so he's
Oh,
got a
right.
ride. Yes, you should have a chat to him.
I
He'll
will. What's his name?
oh God, I can't remember now.
Oh,
I know
he'll tell me.
he's a red-headed kid, but Terry will fill you in.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I know you're a great musician and obviously now a great bike rider, but you're also a fantastic songwriter. What's the songwriting process for you? Do you collaborate with Paulie and Rock Bottom, or do you sit in your room by yourself?
Well, a bit of everything. So, um, you might come up with an idea, and then you might put some words together, and not be able to come up with some music. Then you take it to a rehearsal. Then we'll sort of all knuckle into it and work out how it goes. Or sometimes I work out the song, the words, all the chords, and I take it, and then Paul puts a guitar melody line over, and Eddie puts the drums on it and the vocals and all that sort of thing. So I suppose it's more of a combo. It's sort of like a combination of things. It can be either, whatever sort of thing.
And it must be fantastic to be in a band with someone like Paulie that's got his own recording studio.
Yeah, every rehearsal we do, we record it.
Yeah. Wow.
So we can never forget how the songs go, because Paul goes, "No, I think it went like this." And we go, oh, replay that last week. Oh yeah, right. Okay. So we've recorded a couple of new songs and Detonators songs, and also we've recorded an album with Felicia.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. I caught up with
Oh,
Felicia up at Broadbeach,
yeah,
and
yeah,
she gave me a copy of it.
yeah. That's it. Well, that's
Yeah,
only the single. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
fantastic. So, yeah, oh, that's great. It was great to catch up with her too. So,
I
and
played it to my wife,
yeah,
and she said, "That sounds exactly like the Detonators playing with Felicia." And I go, "Yeah, that's exactly what it's meant to sound like." Yeah, you didn't change anything, and I go, "No, we don't change anything. That's just what we do."
yeah.
So yeah.
The
Yeah.
double bass is such an important instrument in rockabilly and jump blues. Tell
Yeah.
us about this slap technique. I mean, I've seen people do it, but what's it all about?
Well, I'm not really sure who started it off, but I reckon probably Willie Dixon was one of the first guys that started doing it. And basically, they used to do it to get more volume.
Mhm.
So you'd pull the string out,
Yeah.
and then you'd force it back down again, slap it against the neck, then pull it out again. So you get this double click sort of thing happening.
Right.
So a lot of the country guys used to do it. Hank Williams, bass player, used to do it. Johnny Cash's bass player used to do it. The early Elvis Sun Sessions, Bill Black, he used to do it. So if you do it and you had the rhythm, you wouldn't. Some of them didn't have a drummer. You didn't need it.
Yeah.
So
It's
um, it's
a lot of
it's
those.
a it's quite hard to do, but it's also it takes a fair bit of energy to do it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a unique sound, and it's also a very hard instrument to amplify.
Yeah.
So problems with feedback and all that sort of thing. So
You
yeah,
just jogged my memory again too, because I think at the early days of the Grand Ole Opry, drums weren't allowed on stage.
that's
So the bass,
correct.
yeah,
That's right. So the bass, they were doing it all on the bass. Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Um, if you had access to a time machine, and I reckon that'd be a good name for a song too, but if you had access to a time machine, who would you
Yeah.
travel back to see?
uh, Probably Muddy Waters with Willie Dixon in the band, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah,
I reckon if we could, I reckon that'd be pretty good.
yeah, I have a little
I love, I
fantasy.
love, I love all that stuff, all
I
that
have
chess stuff.
fantasies about being able to do that.
Yeah. No, I love all that stuff.
The Dets have been a regular at Way Out West since our first year, and it's always
Yeah.
fantastic to have you in the room. And I love looking forward to Bottom's Pearls of Wisdom. He's the
Yes.
sort of guy I can see that reads a room. Does he, like he reads the room and he'll just come up with something to say?
I think you're giving him a bit more credit than what it's due there, Rob. I think he just makes it up as he goes
All
along.
right.
I just think it just comes out. I don't think
Does
he
it?
plans anything.
All right,
I
man.
just think what he says just comes out. I don't think there's any looking at anyone. He just says it and does it. I don't
All
think
right.
there's any pre-planning at all.
Oh, well.
That's
And
from
he,
my experience of 27 years.
well, you'd know.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does talk about your boudoir a lot. I mean, has he ever been in there?
No, no, he wouldn't be allowed in there. No, no, he hasn't been in there. No, no.
One of the reasons we've got you back this coming Sunday is that there's a new book out, 25
Yeah,
history,
yes,
year history,
yep,
faded out glory boys.
yep.
Have you got one little snippet, one little funny story from that book?
Hey, do you want me to? Can I?
Oh, wow. Ripper.
There's the back of it.
Yeah.
This one here. This is the first one ever made. So it was the one we had to look at to make sure
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no errors or anything. So you want a bit of a pearl of wisdom from it?
Yes, please.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll find one of them. Probably the story. There's a story in there called the Cowra incident
All right.
about when we played in Cowra, and there was all these massive fights in the pub, and they wouldn't. Well, they just kept serving everyone. There's guys covered in blood,
Yeah.
still getting beers.
Yeah.
Then they just go back, have a beer, and get back into the punch up.
Yeah.
Anyway, it got worse and worse as it would, and then we had to stop playing because they were falling onto us, and they were knocking the PA and knocking the amps over and all that sort of stuff. So we stopped. So the first thing that happened when we stopped, someone said, "Thank F, that's over." That's what someone yelled out. And then after that, it rapidly went downhill. A guy came out and he said, "Who do I pay?" And I said, "Oh, you can pay me." And he goes, "I'm docking you." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "You finished 15 minutes early." I said, "We didn't have any option, mate. There's people fighting and everything." He goes, "No, you should have kept playing. That was your contract, blah, blah, blah." So I said, "Are you the manager?" He said, "No." I said, "Are you the bar manager?" He said, "No." I go, "Do you work behind the bar?" He said, "No." I go, "Do you own the place?" He said, "No." I go, "Well, what do you do?" He said, "I'm the guy that docks the bands." I go, "That's a good job."
Oh,
So I said,
God.
"You're docking us for $250 for 15 minutes." I go, "That means for every 15 minutes we get paid 250." And he starts looking a bit confused then. And I go, "You actually owe us money because that's more than what the deal was. So pay up." Anyway, then he thought I was being a smart ass. And then all the boys started gathering around. They'd already been fighting and that, and they were ready to go. So they just started hurling abuse at us, and we packed up very quickly and got out of there. So there's a little bit more to it than that, Rob. You'll have to buy the book to
Well,
find
I have actually. I've got. That's what I was going to say. I sent me money off, but I didn't get the book.
Didn't you? When
No,
did you send it off?
Oh, I don't know. Probably went into the ether somewhere. I found it. I found it online, but anyway, I'll sort it out Sunday.
Yeah, sort that out. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um,
We'll have
that
some there.
what that little story you told me, it was like that the Blues Brothers movie in the
Yeah,
in the country pub.
yeah. It is like that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And will you
But
have
look,
Yeah.
there's a bit
We,
more to it than that, Rob. That
yeah.
story's got there's a stage two of that story.
All right, okay. Well,
Yep.
interested to read it. And will people
Yeah.
be able to buy it at the gig?
Oh yeah, we'll have copies of it for sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And did you do most of the writing, Dave?
Um, I wrote quite a few of the stories. We had some other people write stuff. A guy called Michael McDonald, who I think's going to go. He sort of ghost wrote a few of the stories, like Rock Bottom's story and some of Paulie's stuff. And Eddie's. He ghost wrote it, so he interviewed them and then wrote the story. Lots of people wrote in it. Let's have a look what we got here. We got who we got. Red Rivers wrote in it. Let's have a look here. Alison Penny wrote something in it. Alison Ferrier wrote something in it.
Fantastic.
Felicia wrote something in it. What else? Don Walker, he wrote something in it.
Well, good.
You wrote something in it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I was
did
hoping
too.
you would say something.
Yeah, you wrote something in it. So we got a few people to write a bit of stuff too.
Yeah.
Some people are known, some people aren't known.
Yeah.
But everyone sort of wanted to contribute, so they did. And there were some people who I kept trying to get them to write something, and they didn't do it. Then when the book came out, they went, "I should have done that," and I went, "Well, how many times do I have to give you the opportunity to do it?"
Yeah.
So yeah.
I hear you. Just back to the double bass for a minute.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you because I'm not a technical person, I know guitarists have to change their strings a lot. Is that something you need to do, or have you ever had one break on you when you've been playing?
Yeah, I have. Not for a long while. I used to use gut strings. They used to be about $400 a set.
Wow.
So, and they would last a certain amount of time. Then they'd start to go hard. Then they just break. And if you're playing in varying weather conditions, like you leave Melbourne weather like this, throw it in the back of the van, you drive to Queensland and it's like 20 or 30 degrees. They tended to go harder quicker. And I used to put olive oil on them and all the other things. They'd still break. So what I use now is it's a Kevlar string with a nylon cover over the nylon coating on it. It looks like a gut string, but it's Kevlar. And they're about $160 a set. And they just never break and they just last forever. They never go hard and they're always good. I do change them every couple of years.
Okay.
But yeah, they're fantastic. I love them. Yeah.
And have you got a number of big bull fiddles, or you just rely on the one?
I've got the one I normally use. I've got the gold one, which used to belong to Johnny O'Keefe's bass player. I got that, which I hardly use. And I've got a stick bass, which when I was sponsored by Yamaha, I got that off them. So I've recorded with that a fair bit. That's pretty good to record with. And I've got a few electric basses too. So
do you play electric much?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And
Not very much.
And the big bull fiddles, are they like, some of the guitars that they appreciate in value over the years?
The Johnny O'Keefe one I got probably is.
Yeah.
But the other one, the one I mainly use, is just a Chinese one, although it's pretty old now. So look, I don't know. Yes and no, I suppose. Yes and no. Yes and no.
If you could get your hands on that Willie Dixon bass, that would have been nice.
The Willie Dixon bass or Bill Black's bass, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're not like a guitar. They're not like they haven't got sort of like there's not a certain brand that everyone chases.
Yeah.
So they can just mine's just China. Mine's a Hofner, which is German, made in China.
Ah, okay.
So it's got Hofner on the inside of it. Then it says handcrafted in China.
Right. Because Hofner are really well known for their harmonicas, aren't they?
Yeah, and they make guitars as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they made guitars for a while there. Yeah.
Okay.
Hollow body things and basses and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So we're really looking forward to the gig on Sunday.
So are we.
We're going to pack it out, mate. It's always a hoot. And
Yeah,
I just got to say, it's been an honour to be part of the 25 years journey. Um, when we first started Way Out West all those years ago, and I
yeah,
think I might have wrote that we had a list of bands that we wanted to play in our first year, and
yeah,
of course the debts came up, and we got you guys in the first year, and
yeah,
you've been
yeah. I
regular
remember.
returners. So we really thank you a lot for that, mate. And
Oh, that's all right. We love
yeah,
it.
yeah, and
Yeah,
we
and
look
we always
forward
get
to
well looked after.
yeah, yeah. Well, there'll be a couple of frothies there for you, mate.
Oh, that's good. And we don't feel like we're under pressure or anything, or
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all good. It's always good there.
All right, mate. So